Good evening. My name is Stephanie Stavros, and I'm so honored to be here virtually speaking with you this evening. Thank you very much for purchasing a ticket to the CF Gala. Your ticket, your attendance, your awareness of this disease is helping to support progress. This community has seen a great deal of progress over the past 4 years, but only 90% of us have gotten to appreciate that progress. There's still 10% of the CF population that are waiting, and their hearts are breaking as they see the rest of the community moving forward. I am 41 years old next month, and I am so proud to tell you that number because in 1983, when I was born, that simply wasn't possible. My life expectancy was around 18 years old, 20 if they're lucky. I sure was not going to university. I was not having a career. I was not having a family. So many of my parents' dreams for me were immediately dashed when they heard the news of CF. I'm so proud today that parents with newly diagnosed babies with cystic fibrosis have a much brighter outlook for the future of these kiddos. They deserve it. Growing up with cystic fibrosis was challenging. Constant treatments as a kid made me feel very different, and the mental load of cystic fibrosis and a sort of doom and gloom outlook on my life expectancy was in my mind at an early age. I can remember being even 6 years old and being quite stressed about the fact that I may not fully grow up one day. Teenage years were faced with a lot of GI issues. I was very malnourished and required a feeding tube and was hooked up as a teenager to 12-hour feedings every evening. Self-image as a teenager is already tough enough. Adding a feeding tube at 15, highly do not recommend. In my 20s, as I finished college, university, and I was in the working world, I was trying so hard to make a name for myself in the industry of design that I work in. Until one day at work, my lung collapsed. I was in the hospital for 8 weeks, chest tubes in my body, oxygen, and it was the first time I thought, this is it. I may not survive this. Thankfully, I did survive. But since after that collapse, my lungs were so fragile and frail that they continued to decline rapidly. Throughout all of that crazy time, I managed to get married to the love of my life. His name is Jim. I've had a child. He's now 9. He's like a charming little boy who is sarcastic and funny and all the things that 9-year-olds are. And I've been able to live a life that I never thought was possible. But at 36 years old, I saw what felt like the end of my life. I was being evaluated for a double lung transplant. The doctors were talking to me about palliative care. And I felt this need to survive. With what looked like the odds against me, at 28% lung function, I was still getting up every day and trying to hope for a future that looked so dismal at that point. I was on full-time oxygen, full-time IV care to fight the infections that were just taking over my lungs, and just looking forward to anything that would bring me joy each day to sustain me and keep me going. In 2019, in the US, the FDA approved a new medication called Trikafta. That medication was not available in Canada, and I advocated so hard and spoke so loud about how I need this medicine. Along with the rest of my community, we all saw this medicine coming down the pipeline and we said, we need this here in Canada. Thankfully, I was the first person in Canada to receive this medicine called Trikafta after a very long fight. And then together as a community, we rallied and we got so loud and we worked together to change legislation in Canada and get this medicine for all of the Canadians that would qualify. Over 4,000 people's lives were saved that day when we made those amazing strides towards progress here in Canada. Trikafta was the fastest drug to ever be approved through the Health Canada system and to be onboarded by the provinces. keep in mind, Trikafta only works for 90% of our population. So we have 10% of the population just sitting by watching this all unfold, and they're also declining, they're also struggling, they also need our support. And together, CF Canada, the community, everybody has vowed we will not leave these individuals behind. Their lives are important, that they also have the right to breathe. So as much progress as we've had, and my life has been absolutely saved. Even within 4 hours of taking this new medication called Trikafta, my lungs started to transform and heal. And since then, I've made such progress. Today, I have 46% lung function, where before I had 28% lung function. So for the first time in life, CF patients are healing. This storm that was taking over their body got to sort of hit pause in a way, and we're able to start climbing our way back. But Trikafta is not a cure. There's a lot of side effects, and it's not perfect, and it's not for our entire community. Just because we've had progress, it doesn't mean we can stop now. We need big change, and we need a cure. You being here tonight is supporting our mission, and we are so grateful for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this long-winded story. I'm so grateful I can give you a long-winded story. But everything you're doing here tonight is so very important. If there is a raffle, please join it. Put your name in the bucket. I hope you win something pretty. If there's anything to contribute there, please be generous, because you already have been so generous by being here today. But I'm going to ask you to be a little bit more generous. But thank you for your time this evening. I hope you have such a wonderful day, evening here. And I look forward to connecting with you in the community. Have a great night. Take care. Much love to all of you. Bye.